Sometimes we entertain angels. Scripture says that. Cindy thinks she has seen an angel. And by the time we're done with this, you might be wondering about some times in your life as well. Welcome to Men's Morning Lights. I'm Trapper Jack. Got to tell you about this. And by the way, this happened for Cindy shortly after being baptized. And she thinks there's a connection in all of this as well. So here's the story. It's a winter's day, snow's a fallen, and there's a lot of snow on the ground, and she's heading out in the morning, but she doesn't tell anybody in the house where she's going. That's mistake number one, because she's going to need to be rescued. By who? All right, she's heading out. A lot of snow, like I say, and she's driving out to this beautiful place that has a waterfall. It's out in the woods. It's gorgeous. Kind of commune with nature, talk to God for a little bit. Absolutely perfect, serene situation. Parks the car. Here comes another mistake. She's got her winter's coat. She has her hiking boots on, but she has forgotten three important elements to take with her. Here's Cindy's story.
I had brought my hiking boots with me. I brought a winter jacket and I brought some mittens, but I left my mittens, I left my cell phone and my inhaler for my asthma in my car. So I go in and I go down to the path into the woods where the waterfall is. And I start walking and I realize the snow hadn't really melted in the woods because it didn't hit the sun. And I realized that it was deep. So I started walking and I started slipping and sliding. And I started falling, my camera went flying, I went flying, went down the hill to the bottom where the waterfall was. And I thought, geez, because I was bleeding, I was a mess. I looked back up the hill and like, there's no way I'm getting back up that hill. It's too icy. Every time I tried to stand up, I kept falling down and my hands started bleeding because I had hurt myself. I had no mittens on, my hands were freezing. Here I am at the bottom of this hill with no cell phone, nobody around to get help. My inhaler was in the car and I was starting to feel like my asthma was coming, was getting out of hand. So I kept trying to get up and finally I look up the hill and I see this man, older man, walking down the path I just came down. And I'm looking at him and he was, an older man, he was a white-haired man, thin, he was wearing a thin blue jogging suit and white tennis sneakers. And I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to stand up, and he's walking down this hill that I literally just slid down. And he walks down gracefully, and he smiles at me, and he says, "Slippery, isn't it?" And he keeps walking past me, and I'm looking at him with my mouth open, thinking, how in the world did he make it down here in tennis shoes? I have my hiking boots on, and I can't even stand up. So I see him walk over to the waterfall, and he just stands there peacefully looking at the waterfall. And I turned around and I said, well, if he walked down there, I can walk back up. So as soon as he walked past me, I was able to stand up, get my bearings, get my footing, and walk back up the hill.
Did you try to put your feet in his footsteps or anything like that?
Exactly.
You did?
Yes.
That's what you did?
Yes, exactly.
And not in the same place you were trying to go up before?
Correct. Got up there, I realized that there was no car there. He had come from nowhere. There was nobody around. It's the middle of nowhere. And he had come from absolutely nowhere. And I look back down and I see him just standing looking out over the waterfall by himself, just happy as a clam. And I think, my goodness, thank goodness he came along, because I could have been stuck down there without a cell phone, without help if I really needed it. But there was something about him that when he walked by, I was able to get up and walk back up that hill.
Smiles at you. Obviously, he sees that you're in trouble. He can see that, can't he?
Yes, because I was bleeding. I was a mess.
And he doesn't acknowledge that, just slippery, isn't it?
Yes, and you know how you just kind of look at somebody with your mouth open thinking, what in the world? Gosh, is he okay? Oh, he looked absolutely fine. Me, I was cut up, I was bruised, I was battered and everything else. So I call him my little angel in blue, thin blue jogging suit. Got up the top of the hill and I got to my car and thinking, what in the world just happened? That is so bizarre.
What in the world? What do you think? Did Cindy see an angel? I think you saw an angel, Cindy. I do. All the evidence points to it. Isn't it great? Angels are getting exercise. We thought, when we held tryouts, we thought somebody would show up in blue. Red shirts, black shoes. We had to go with what we had to go with. But anyway, I think we have an angel encounter there. No evidence, no car, no truck, no nothing. Kind of cool. We entertain angels. Book of Hebrews says so. I also like to look for the symbolism in all this. What does all this mean beyond that, beyond the obvious of angels and such? And that is when we have fallen, when we are rock bottom, when we are bruised and battered and bloodied by life, by the storms, feeling isolated. How do we, got no cell phone. I have no connection with anybody here, oh yeah, look up. That's where we start. We look up. Help is on the way. Angels. Might be able to see them, usually not, but we have angels. We always have angels. We always have Jesus, always. Those are his footprints. Just follow his footprints. His footprints, they'll take you right back up to where you need to be. I thought it interesting, again, this is shortly after she was baptized, so she is now a beloved daughter of the Father, right? Kind of cool, that fatherly figure showing up in this as well. So she's back up on top, and we see symbolism there too. She feels the warmth and comfort of God. That we'll call that the mittens. She's reconnected, the cell phone. She can breathe again, the inhaler. And that those bruises, that red scarlet has been replaced by that pure, newly fallen snow. Right out of the book of Isaiah. Beautiful connection again. A beautiful angel story from Cindy. Maybe you have one too. If so, I'd love to hear it. Let me know, okay? Okay? All right. Keep looking up. See you next week on Men's Morning Light.